To start today's lesson on density, you have to remember I love density. So when you make your heart for I love density, you'll see that there is an M shape on the top for your mass, there's the word mass, and a V shape on the bottom for the word volume. And you are going to divide the mass divided by the volume. So your formula would look like this. D is equal to mass, which in the classroom we'll use a triple beam balance. Because I'm not in the classroom, I'm using this food scale. And then we need to do mass, and I'm using this as my dividing line. And then we have volume. So because it's solid, it's going to be a piece of bread, so it's a solid, so we're going to use a ruler. So I have my ruler ready, I have my scale. So you're going to do the mass with the food scale. The answer is going to be in grams, and we're going to do the volume with the ruler, and the answer is going to be in cubic centimeters. And so we're going to go on, since today happens to be Mrs. McDonald's birthday, we're going to tell her happy birthday. So we're going to start with her plate and a piece of bread. And with our piece of bread, we're going to find the mass and the volume of this bread. So we're going to start off by taking this piece of bread, and first of all, we have to make sure that our scale is exactly on 0. Now we have a plate that I can remove here, but we have to make sure that it's right on 0, and it doesn't look like it's quite there, so we will adjust that to bring it up right at the 0. Now the side over here we will not look. Those are your ounces, these are the grams. This is the side where you want from the 0 to the 450. That's the side we're looking at. Ignore this side, we only look at this side. So we need the plate on there, and we need to be exactly at 0, which it is. So now we're going to put the bread on, and it has moved down, and it looks like it's at the, it looks like the increments are going to be in tens, and you have 10, 20, and it's not quite to the 30. So it's a guess, it's not exact science. We're in the kitchen, not in the lab. So we're going to say 25 grams is what our mass is going to be. So we're going to put the bread back over here on the birthday plate. Happy birthday, Miss McDonald. And we're going to record that information of 25 grams. So we're going to say the mass was 25 grams. That is difficult to see. 25 grams for the top part. Now we also have to figure out what the volume is. So we're going to use our ruler to find out how many centimeters. And if you remember with a solid, we need to do length times width times height. And that's the formula for finding volume. So we're going to take our trusty ruler, and we're going to put it on the bread, and we are going to calculate what the length, the width, and the height is. It's not a perfect shape of a square, but it's in the classroom. It's not in the classroom, and you'll notice that I'm on the inches side, which is absolutely wrong. We're going to go flip and go to the centimeter side. Now it actually says millimeter on this side, but that's those little tiny dots. Centimeter means 0, 1, 2, 3. That means that's the centimeter side. So we're going to take the edge of the bread here. We're going to start at 0. So 0, boss, you're the ones who would make sure that we're on the 0 part of the bread. So there's our 0, and we're going to go all the way across the other side of the bread and look to see what this number is. Now it looks like it's a 10 point. Now I'm at solid 10. I have to add all the extra little hash marks, and that's going to be my points. And I'm almost at 11, but it looks like it's 10.8. And that's what I'm going to say is my width. So my width is going to be 10.8 centimeters. I also want to do the height. So to do the height, I need to be at 0. And I'm going to measure. This is hard with the plate being crooked. How about if I put this on the counter, and we do it this way, and we're going to do on the 0, my 0 bosses, I am on the 0 and trying to run the camera at the same time. The final number that we should have, who knows if you can even see that, the measurement should be 1.8. So we're going to say 1.8 centimeters, and that's the height, 1.8 centimeters. And then all we have left is the length. We went across this way first, so we're going to go this way now on the measurement, again on the centimeter side. 0 bosses, you're going to have to really watch to make sure that we get those on the 0. So there's our 0 going across. Here's our measurement here, and it again looks like it's about I can get into focus, looks also like 10.8. So we're going to say 10.8 centimeters. Now the way this is figured out is we have to go and we have to say on a sheet of paper, I will make noise over here. We're going to take our piece of paper and figure this out. And we're going to say density is equal to mass divided by volume. We put the formula down, and then we say the mass, which was 25 grams, we'll copy that over, 25 grams, and it is over, and then we have to figure out what 10.8 times 10.8 times 1.8. So we're going to get our trusted calculator, because in science class we definitely use our devices. So in this one it is 10.8 times 10.8 times 1.8 equals, and our answer is 209,952, and I'm writing it right here, and that is a centimeter, a centimeter, and a centimeter. We did 3 of those, so we say centimeters cubed. It's raised up. It's telling me that we did 3 things to get to this number. So we now have our mass, we now have our volume, and now we have to divide those two. And it's a really easy procedure in using a calculator. So when we clear the information and we say, first number we need is 25. So we actually go from top down. So we'll say 25 divided by, and then we'll say this long number, 209.952. So 209.952 equals. Now this number I'm going to write down. So the number says it is, after the equal sign, and it says 0.11907, and there's a bunch of other things after that. What we're going to do is focus on how we record this answer. In 6th grade, you do whatever's in front of the decimal point. So it's going to be 0 decimal to start off with. When you get a griddable in 6th grade, we have a box for each one of the components that we're going to do for place value. Everything goes in front of the decimal. It always gets carried over. What matters here is that we only do 2 place holdings after that decimal. So I have this number here, which is going to be transferred down here. And the problem is I cannot put this number down into this part because I have to look at this number. If it's 5 or higher, then we need to change that number to the next number up. So instead of 1, that will be the number 2. And we did our answers in grams over centimeters cubed. So the final answer would be grams over centimeters cubed. Oop, there we go. Now you can see it. So the final answer is density is equal to 0.12, and you can also do it with a slanted line, grams per centimeters cubed. So that would be our final answer of what the whole piece of bread looks like, just like this, whole piece of bread. So now we're going to change the density of the bread. It's still the same bread. We're going to squash it.